What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another Walking Dead video. Today's video we're going to be talking about the new teaser that we got for Daryl Dixon a couple of days ago at this point. I believe it came on during running of Snowpiercer or something, kind of something they threw in between commercials. And it does have a couple different shots of footage, nothing too detailed, but it does kind of allude to a couple different things. One of them just kind of straight up front. There's really no hiding it or denying it, but they kind of, I guess, gives the story a little bit of different direction or confirms a few suspicions, I guess. But in this first snap that I grabbed from the trailer that I wanted to show you, as we know, Carol and Ash fly to France on his little plane that somehow makes it across the whole ocean, and they, between refueling and anything they have to do to make this trip. But they get there, they get off the plane, and we have that moment in the trailer where they get attacked by walkers that are just randomly in the ground. And I imagine with the onset of the apocalypse and just the years that have passed since, there's going to be random walkers kind of just in the ground with things getting covered up over time and whatnot. But we have them get attacked by this, and we see that Ash steps in to help, or what we believe is Ash, that helps Carol get out of the situation as she's dragged to the ground from one of these walkers. But we do get the confirmation that we do have a couple of different new survivors that have popped up. We don't know who they are. All we get is a back shot of them, and within this snap that I'm showing, we just get kind of an overhead shots of them going towards the mountains, and we just get these two other survivors. One, I believe, is Ash, but I don't think he's long for this world. I honestly don't think he's going to make it very long once he gets to Paris, or maybe he goes off with these people. Who knows? But I'm not too convinced that he's going to make it very far once he makes this trip. I think he's going to be a 1 or 2 episode max character. But we get them in this shot as the camera moves over them, and we see these two survivors. But then later in that trailer, the full trailer that we got from Comic-Con, we don't see anybody with Carol for any of those additional bits of footage. And kind of funny with that too, with shots that we get of Daryl and shots that we get of Carol, a lot of these scenes have been frame condensed where we don't see the fact that they are actually together. Like, we get the scene where Daryl goes to that underground club again, and that woman says, "I thought you were dead." We don't get the full frame of that shot when they do the trailer, because Carol's actually in the background of that. She's since met with him, so I don't think it's going to take her very long at all to find Daryl. I really think they're going to move that part of the story forward very quickly, and they're going to make it a point to get them together as soon as possible, as soon as Carol makes this trip. But moving on to another snap that I grabbed, we have Carol here fighting what I believe could be pillagers or just raiders or what have you, people out in the wild of France, that while she's looking for Daryl, coming across probably all different types of people, or maybe while she's scavenging for supplies, these people try to sneak up on her, and we see that she goes into fight mode with these people. And I honestly believe this is all after she's already in Paris, because we do have a scene there from the teaser where we see Carol go and question those guys that are responsible for putting Daryl in the situation that he's in, where he's over across the ocean in France, and they don't waste any time telling her that's where he is. We have a deal with certain people. They want walkers from our country to go over there so they can experiment on them or do whatever they're doing. But we get this scene where she's fighting people, and more than likely just people that she has come across that are trying to take advantage of her or just assume she's weak because she's a woman, and just things like that. And in this next frame, we get a couple seconds of this where we see Carol is in this dark tunnel. And I honestly believe this is after her and Daryl have already found each other once again, because we get that scene in the trailer where Daryl's also in a similar tunnel where we see walkers that are glowing due to something that they're exposed to. So I think this is them already together. I think they're actually on the run from maybe Madame Genet or maybe another group, that's maybe stepped in and taken over for her, because we don't know whether or not Madame Genet is going to make it past this season, but she could end up being the main villain in this whole situation, because from what I understand for Daryl Dixon Season 3, they are actually chased into Spain, and that's why they end up there. And I think this tunnel is something that is a tunnel that I believe runs between parts of France and into Spain. I can't remember the name of the tunnel, but I remember a video talking about it, where this is probably where they end up, and they go into Spain using this tunnel. This is probably an escape route that they somehow get pushed into Spain. So I think that's going to kind of explain why they're in Spain, of all places, just like why Daryl Dixon is in France, of all places. But it looks like we're going to get maybe a handful of more seasons of them going from continent to continent or country to country or whatever to make it back home to hopefully get the reunions that we all want to see, but we just don't know yet. And I don't think they really have a game plan in place for that kind of thing. Then at the end of this teaser, we do see Carol in this car again, like we saw her in the original teaser that we got last year, and I think we might have gotten more teaser this year. But I believe this is also yet another scene where Daryl's already since found her, because I think there was a scene in the new trailer that we got where Daryl is surrounded by walkers and he's in this car, or he's next to this car. And I think this is the moment where he maybe saves Carol, because we saw in the original teaser from last year that Carol's in this car and then all of a sudden walker heads just basically start popping. We see blood splatter on the windows and whatnot. So I think they're going to find each other rather quickly. They're going to make it a point to get this team back together and then continue on with whatever story they have planned out for this season going into next. So hopefully we get at least one more full trailer before the season premiere, which is still another month and a change away, another 40 days away roughly. And so we're at the point where we're just waiting for the show to come on. We don't have any other Walking Dead content going on this year. We have Dead City Season 2 coming out next year. So it's really kind of just sitting and waiting for the show to hit our screens. But anyways, if you enjoyed my video about the breakdown of this new teaser that we got and just my thoughts about the show, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. See you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.